Greetings everyone, this is Connor from Dagora TV, and this is only going to be a fairly short video in my opinion, of me talking to, in particular, the Elder Scrolls and RPG fans that are subscribed to me, talk about Horizon Zero Dawn. I've got a couple of tweets actually, asking me about Horizon, and what I think of it, if I played it, what I think that an Elder Scrolls fan would be interested in, or what I think an RPG fan would be interested in it, and I just wanted to get out there. I've played the game. I've finished it completely. All the quest areas of it, obviously. I haven't done over the top on the whole aspects of crafting and things like that. It's not really my forte to go into. I'll go into that a bit further actually. But should you play the game? Before I answer that question, I actually want to set what my expectations of Horizon Zero Dawn were before I actually played it. So before the game came out, I wasn't really that interested in it, personally. If anyone watches the podcast or listens to it or whatever, I think you would have known that I thought it looked okay, but I wasn't too interested in it because I thought it looked a lot like Far Cry Primal, to be honest with you. And I didn't have much faith at all in the developer of the game. I didn't have faith in Guerrilla Games. The reason for that is because I've never been a fan at all, really, of the Killzone games. I've always thought that the games look really pretty, but are very boring to play. And I kind of had the idea that Horizon Zero Dawn was going to have the same thing. And the gameplay they showed at E3 didn't really help matters for me, It didn't show me anything that I was interested in, being able to pick out components on a robot and, fight with it. It just looked very kind of generic to me. And I wasn't very interested in it at that point. The reason I got the game, though, was because, obviously, it's another RPG, and you could say, why are you getting this one when there's so many RPGs coming out this month? We've got Mass Effect. Don't worry, I'm going to play Mass Effect. You've got Zelda. I'm going to play Zelda at a much later date because I can't afford to get a Switch right now, and all these different things. Persona 5 out next month. But I wanted to play Horizon specifically for what people were saying in reviews. People were saying that, the lore of the game and the theme of it is done really well. And a lot of YouTubers that I trust, people like, Colin Moriarty and Greg Miller are kind of funny, for instance. And people like Jesse Cox and, and things like that, and Stripping and so on, would say that the game is fantastic. They would give it really high ratings and obviously get really well in reviews and stuff like that. And a lot of what they were saying in the reviews really kind of got me thinking that, okay, maybe I should give this game a go. I should play the game. And on my game card, I had a lot of credits on it, so I thought, you know what, let's give it a go. Bought my friend's PS4, started playing the game. Absolutely fell in love with it. Love the game. Absolutely adore Horizon Zero Dawn. I think it is the best game of the year so far. I also think it's probably the best PlayStation 4 exclusive, which is a massive, massive, massive positive from me. Huge. Mainly because, Uncharted is one of my favourite video game series ever, and Uncharted 4 is my favourite video game in that series. It's my favourite game in the series. And to say that this is better than it, maybe it's because of the hype of just coming off of it, but the game is absolutely unbelievable. In the extent of it goes through this period at the beginning of the game, the first 6 or 7 hours, where everything is new. This theme is crazy, and we're finding out all this new lore about everything in the game. We're finding out all this new information about the Kaja and the Nora, and the sunset and all this stuff. And it seems to be kind of daunting at first, to try and bring it all in, but they have a very, very smart way of doing it, where we start off in the Nora, and the Nora are kind of a tribe that are very separate to what is going on in the outside world. And outside in America, in this post-apocalyptic future, it's about 1,000 years in the future, as it says in the back of the box. And the Nora are very secluded. They don't really pay attention to what's happening elsewhere unless it comes to bother them, and then they fight it off. They've got very hippie-like ways, in my opinion. They're very ignorant to what's actually happening in the world, and I think that's the best way to start the game in this tribe, because you don't know a lot, and you're going to get taught through them. You kind of feel like you've got a small grasp, you get small bits of information by meeting other people from different tribes and stuff, and then when you go out and actually go into these areas of the world outside of the Nora lands and into different areas like, going into Meridian and, the Kaja land and stuff like that, and Ozma Empire, it's really interesting to see all this new information coming to you and how quickly you're able to learn it. I've gained information into this game so quickly, and I really loved learning about the different tribes and everything. So if you're an Elder Scrolls fan who loves lore like I do, you owe it to yourself to play this game. You absolutely owe it to yourself to play this game. I mean, there's no excuse, in my opinion, of you not playing this game. Obviously, if you don't have a PS4, but if you've got a PS4 and you love lore, you need to play it. You absolutely need to play it. And the way the lore goes in the game as well it goes crazy in the last 10 hours of the game. It took me I played the game for around about just over 30 hours. And, it's very, going through the pace, doing a lot of side activities. And then around about the 20-hour mark, I went, I've done with the side stuff now. I'm going to go finish this story. And I thought the main story was going to be like, okay, another 2-3 hours. It's 10 hours of constant gaining lore, finding out what happened to the world. That story was just unbelievable. I really got immersed into that story. I mean, it's probably the first time I really got immersed into a side story in a video game since Uncharted 4. Since that whole Henry Avery Thomas 2 storyline in Uncharted 4. It got that same feeling of me where into this place where I actually had a 10-hour session of the game. I just didn't stop, just went to, every so often to go get a toilet and a drink. I didn't end up going to sleep that morning until 7:15, just had to finish the game. I had to find out everything about it. And I wasn't, skimming through it and skipping. I was taking my time, trying to learn out the lore, theorising in my head about everything that was going to happen. And it was an absolute unbelievable experience. Unbelievable to find out really what went down. And I can't give it any more praise to the story of the game and the way it's paced. From that point, I'm going to give you actually the name of the quest from what point I actually played through the whole main story under, because I think that that's probably the best way to to go and play the story in that way. In my instance, in my ideology for it. So I kind of explored the world doing the quest here and there all the way until the City of the Sun, which is in Meridian, which is the main quest out in Meridian. Which kind of is the first time you go into this huge area on the left-hand side of the world. And I was able to figure out whereabouts it was set just before I found the graph which, shows, what happened in the past there. But I will say that I was doing a lot of side activities and everything around that time and got to a kind of high level. And then the Sea of the Sun, which is around about midway through, maybe a little bit before midway through the main story when I started going into it again. And I say, go and do the main story missions in order from that point. Just don't focus on side stuff. Do the side stuff before you get to that point. And the reason I say that is because it's paced so well from that point. And I want you to kind of have the same experience that I had. Coming away from this game so fucking passionate about it after that and really into the lore and the characters that it had and the fantastic voice acting as well. And it's just, you've got to experience that for yourselves and really get in there and dive into the lore. If you want me to do a spoiler video of me talking about some, the theories that I've got about some of the different characters and stuff in the game, I'm more than happy to do that if you want me to talk more about Horizon and talk about, really what happened back then and really just have a conversation with you about it, because my mind, I finished it and it's all I can really think about right now is Horizon. All I can really think about is what happened at the end of that game. What happened, of the new information that we got with specific characters, the tease for the sequel that we got at the end of as well. Unbelievable. And I really, can't wait to talk more about it. And I just want to say, go with that own experience for yourself. And really, if you're going to be over hypercritical of the game, you could say that, the game is Far Cry Primal, being able to buy maps and everything, and it's got these towers, By the way, the towers are fucking walking Brontosaurus-like, with the huge long neck dinosaurs that you've got to climb up while they're fucking moving. So, it's not like just a standard radio tower that you get in Far Cry. But, it's got all these, cheap mechanics, all these little resources you're picking up around the world that you go into crafting, and you craft around you, and it's quick and easy to craft and everything. It goes onto this wheel. It's all stuff that we've seen in games before, even, things like the hacking into, enemy robots, to be able to, ride or, fight for yourself and everything, is taken from games like, Shadow of Mordor, for instance, the brand and things like that. But it is the theme of the game that really grabbed me. It was something that I wasn't too fond of the theme behind it. I was like, they better have some good lore, to be able to get around it, and they've got an absolute stellar story. The best story I've played in a video game in a very, very, very long time, and I'm just thinking of games which has got a main story that's beat it. Like The Witcher story is deeper, in my sense, especially when it comes down to side quests. They've got richer side quests. You can tell that the developers have sat down and played The Witcher 3 and changed aspects of their game to kind of accommodate what is moving forward in action RPGs, and I really appreciate that. I think that's the way you've got to go now in video games, especially in action RPGs, and it's doing really well. But the main story, just finding that story out, I think the last time I really had that feeling was really finding out what happened in Until Dawn. And, again, I said in Uncharted 4 as well. but it just works so well. You know, you've got two really kind of main story ideas going along with it together at some point with Erend and with what's going on with your focus and trying to find out what happened in the past, and it's just stellar, absolutely stellar, and it's a fantastic, groundbreaking area to start off with when it comes down to the story. But with the mechanics of the game, there's nothing really mechanically that is groundbreaking about it. It is the theme, it is the environments, it is the story that really kept it. So if you're that kind of player, go ahead and play this game. But if you're someone who suffers from open world fatigue, which like a lot of people have, you're not going to like this game. You're not going to like it at all, because it doesn't really do anything different to really get you out to go into that. You know, it's got, if you're really interested in the theme, you're probably going to sit with it for a few levels and then probably dacker off. But the strength for me is for the people who love story. If you're a lore hunter out there, like I am, perfect game for you. You know, and I've got a lot of them at this channel. You know, that really comment about the lore and everything and trying to find the story. Go out there and play it. And also, you know, anyone who's got questions about, you know, any doubts they've got over the game, I'd love to answer them. You know, if the certain quests and everything that they've seen and not really been too into, if it's the side quests and everything, there's not a huge amount of side quests in the game actually, you know, and I actually kind of appreciated that. You know, it wasn't something that I was like, you know what, I wish there was a lot of side quests in this game and a lot of you know, different stuff to do on the side. It wasn't really because the narrative was so strong in the main story that was really the aspect that I really focused on. I appreciate the side quests in the early areas of the game, which is why I'm telling you to do all the side quest stuff before that specific quest. The City of the Sun, I want to repeat again, the City of the Sun is the quest. Because playing through the game until that point, in all the side quests and everything, is kind of the wise way to do it, because you're learning a lot at that time, but you don't really want to take a step away from the story, and if you do take a step away from the story, it's going to, you know, it's kind of not going to make them side quests as enjoyable as they were for me. And I think I looked out in I found the perfect way to play the game, really, in my opinion. You know, I couldn't have had a better way to get that paced for me. I couldn't choose a way to, you know, go to different locations better and everything. And if you're the kind of person that likes to wander off as well, it's a good game for that as well. Because even though there's high level enemies around you at all times, you can, you know, it's quite easy to sneak past them if you're using tall grass and everything and remain quite a bit quiet. And just be kind of smart in your game with the stuff that you craft and everything. If you're kind of a guy who's a fan of hard games as well, I don't think you're going to like it. I don't think you're going to be interested into, you know, the boss battles. They're not really that difficult, even on the hardest difficulties, which I eventually turned it up to. But it's just the story, man. The story is really what got me, and you know, people just need to experience it. This basically is a video of me for 15 minutes gushing about how good the story is. If you want me to talk about it in the intricacies and just have a spoiler discussion about the story in Horizon, please let me know in the comments, and you know, let me know what you're thinking of Horizon if you're playing it right now. I really want to talk to a lot of people about this game, because I haven't got anyone to talk to about it, because it's the game I've been most excited about in a long time. You know, it's been like, it's kind of like I found a gem. That's how I feel, because I really underappreciate this game. It's been a huge surprise for me, and I feel like I was the only person really who wasn't expecting this game to be great, because like, it's kind of a thing like, obviously it was going to be amazing, obviously, and I just wasn't expecting that. You know, I wasn't expecting it to be great, and it just turned out to be. It surprised me at all costs. I apologise to Guerrilla Games for having that doubt on them, but you know, it's just turned out to be, you know, definitely the biggest surprise in a video game I've had since Until Dawn. It's a much better game than Until Dawn. It's the best game I've played since The Witcher 3, and I absolutely adore playing this game. I cannot wait to see what Guerrilla do next. I presume a sequel's been sanctioned. Cannot wait to see what that's going to be like and hear more about it. Hear more stories as well about what's going on in Horizon as well. I love seeing all the different stories that people have about this game. Absolutely fantastic to read. Absolutely beautiful. And I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Please leave your comments below. Subscribe to the channel as well. I hope you do that. Like the video and everything. Follow me on Twitter. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.